Alright guys, so this video right here is by Josh Strife Hayes. He is an amazing content creator, and this was a video popped up in my feed that I want to check out. Which MMO should you waste your life on in 2026? This is such a great title, by the way, and I'm already expecting some rage bait. I'm just, even the pinned comment even makes me expect more rage bait. Warning, this is a comedy video aimed at satirizing, satirizing, I have no idea how to say that word, man, like me and my Scandinavian self, the MMO genre, which is done with love and respect to the games, the players, and the devs. I love the MMO genre. This isn't an attack. Ooh, I'm ready to be attacked.
It's almost the new year. The games industry is collapsing, the cost of living is going up, and if you are the average viewer of this channel according to YouTube statistics, you've accepted you'll never own a house. Social media is imploding over a bot infestation.
Bro, it's been 10 seconds and I'm already being attacked. Damn, dude. This is rage bait level 11 out of 10. Damn.
Brain rot slop is now the fastest growing content type, and the continued rise of AI.
I hate that so much, by the way. Oh, brain rot. I hate TikTok, man. I need to delete that app. I still spend too much time on that app compared to what I should be spending, and I feel like I've drastically reduced the time that I'm spending on the app. I'm still there for like probably half an hour per day, usually while making food or doing anything else where it's just like background noise, right? But it's still too much. I need to delete that app and just, I don't know, watch YouTube videos or streams.
Means you're never sure if a beautiful picture is human or machine-made, leaving you with a small but permanent shard of cynicism and reducing your ability to find joy in the world. So how do we deal with this situation? That's right, we dive headfirst into a virtual world and forget our real-life problems. Why look at the mess of reality?
Yeah, dude, that's how I do it, man. Just boot up WoW. You go to battle.net, you click on World of Warcraft, you log in, and you never log out. Now you even have a player house in World of Warcraft as well, so if you can't own a house in real life, you can own a house in-game.
When you could instead look at Lune's feet. The problem with most video games is they eventually end, which means you're going to have to face the harsh light of...
Dare I say Salatos? Salatos? Got him?
Existence again at some point. Even if you replay them, you're just delaying the inevitable. I mean, there's only so many times you can play through Cyberpunk until it gets boring and repetitive, and that amount of times is slightly less than one. But what if there were a genre of game which didn't end, which not only allowed you to become hopelessly addicted to it, but actively encouraged it? A genre with the most monotonous and mind-numbing repetitive content design you could ever imagine, but my god if it isn't satisfying watching number go up. Well, look no further.
Number go up, dude. This is so lovely, by the way. Honestly, that's how it feels as well. You do something and you watch number go up. You either do DPS and you're trying to do more DPS than last time, so you watch number go up then, or you farm gold and you look for the number of gold to go up. Just MMORPGs, number go up. Good summary.
Other than MMORPGs, a genre with hundreds of games and about 5 of them actually matter, and several will probably have died by the time you watch this video. Marvel as your social life gets reduced to an ever-shrinking online friends list, and your free time is replaced with grinding gear for minuscule upgrades and an awkward guild chat with people you'll never meet and probably never want to. The dungeon conversations will be varied. Are you helping a 55-year-old woman through her 3rd divorce, or talking to a teenager who's using slang you don't recognize because you're too old? Who knows? Trick question. It's neither, because the real guild chat is in a Discord channel you're not invited to. MMORPGs allow you to feel the fleeting pleasure of progress in this dark world, and all they ask is an unreasonable amount of time and sometimes your money, and my god if it isn't totally worth it. Touching grass is for losers who don't have a flying mount. But with so many online worlds offering everything from dozens of hours of repetitive content to hundreds of hours of repetitive content, how do you know which game should replace your personality?
Wait, what the...
Mount. But with so many online worlds offering everything from dozens of hours of repetitive content to hundreds of hours of repetitive content, how do you know which game should replace your personality? The truth is they all suck in their own magical way, but which one sucks in a way you can personally live with? Well, dear viewer, that's what I'm here to help you find out. Hello, I'm Josh Strife Hayes, MMORPG reviewer and professionally terminally online person, here to guide you through the microtransaction-filled parasocial jungle of online games. I'm going to break down which MMORPGs are still online, why...
Let me just see if he's gonna be, okay, he's only there for a bit now. I was gonna move myself to the bottom right, but I think it's okay to stay here. Okay.
why they would appeal to you and why they wouldn't. Then, when you are fully informed, you can go and download one and begin your new adventure of sitting in your chair and replacing actual life achievements with in-game achievements. Trust me, they are much more impressive. Actual degrees get more use.
Yo, that right there, that's what I've been doing for the last 20 years. That is crazy.
By the day, while max capes, they only appreciate in value as more teleports get added. So which is really investing in your future? A big thank you to all these people on Patreon who support the channel and allow me to keep not touching grass, and Gamer Subs for making sure I never need to drink unflavoured water again. More info on how you can support and buy Gamer Subs at the end. For now, let's begin. If you have decided meat space is a bit too much and you want to jack into the Matrix like a slightly out of shape Neo, you could consider the following new adventures. World of Warcraft, Call of Duty, Love Island.
There we go, video over. Yeah, World of Warcraft, let's go. I wonder if he's going to talk about Arcade. I guess not, because it's no longer available in the West, but holy, that game was great. Arcade, lovely. World of Warcraft, I'm currently playing at the moment. Guild Wars 2, I've been playing for 20 hours and had a really good time. Final Fantasy, I've played for hundreds of hours and I loved the story. I will say the Final Fantasy story is miles better than WoW story. Especially in recent expansions, because like WoW lore was great once upon a time, but now when you go into the War Within, it's just like every expansion they make up a new bad guy, and you go and deal with it because why not? It's a bad guy, and you get loot, but like the story doesn't matter anymore. Final Fantasy, at the end of the story, I shed a manly tear. Don't even think it was that manly, I cried.
Island AI-generated country songs. Sometimes popular things are popular for a reason, and that reason is people are simple creatures served by the bare minimum, and the bar of human creativity is in hell. World of Warcraft is a love story between the members of the Horde and the Alliance, and follows the classic story construction framework of enemies to friends, to enemies to friends, to enemies to friends, to enemies to lovers, to friends, to enemies to kind of friends, and then the jailer.
Dude, this right there, also, this is weird, but most of the friends that I've made on WoW, I've made it through shit-talking. Like, one of my best friends that I've kept in contact with outside of WoW as well, I started out by telling him he sucked. Like, he did so bad DPS. And I told him, and now we're good friends. I straight up said, you honestly suck, your DPS is trash. How is that the start of a friendship?
Happened, and everyone stopped even pretending this made sense and just let that one writer live out his Sylvanas fanfiction on a global scale. World of Warcraft is made by Blizzard, who have done some rather dodgy stuff in the past, and everyone knows that playing a game means endorsing and supporting everything the company has ever or will ever do, so make the decision to play carefully. World of Warcraft uses the tried and tested tab targeting system where you rotate through your combat abilities by pressing the numbered keys on the keyboard, with complexities of classes ranging from preschooler playing 3 blind mice on a Casio keyboard to Phil Collins on crack playing the only good bit from In the Air Tonight like the drums owed him money. Playing World of Warcraft is like eating mac and cheese or drinking light beer. You won't shock anyone by saying you do it and enjoy it, but excessive amounts of any of those things will result in the same lifestyle, sedentary and smelling faintly of cheese. Guild Wars 2. Do you hate monthly fees, challenging content, or the feeling of progression? Then you might love Guild Wars 2. Buy once, play forever. Loads of classes, loads of maps, and about 3 different gameplay loops scattered over all of them. You'll go from killing 10 easy enemies to killing 10 other easy enemies in a different place, to sometimes even killing 10 even easier enemies in another even more different place. Does this game have a death animation? I don't know. Neither will you. Guild Wars 2 is the epic story of how many times you can click the skip to end button in cutscenes and then kill some story boss.
He basically just said, by the way, if you suck at video games, play Guild Wars 2. How does that feel? How does the rage bait feel sometimes?
Is while you try and figure out what's going on, give up and watch a YouTube recap instead. The game focuses on horizontal progression instead of vertical, which means instead of getting better, more powerful equipment as you play, you'll just get different equipment, meaning you stay about as strong as you started, but look slightly worse as time goes on. Recommending Guild Wars 2 to someone is like recommending they drink water and stretch in the morning. You both know it's probably a fine idea, but it's just kind of bland, and you know it'll always be an option when you eventually find the time. Elder Scrolls Online. Remember Skyrim? The game which came up 15 years ago, and then 10 years ago, and then 7 years ago, and then 5 years ago, and then 2 years ago, and probably this year, and in 3 years' time, and then again forever until we all die? Yeah, well, wouldn't it be fun if it was online? Amazingly, somehow, no. The Elder Scrolls Online is the journey through an epic story fighting as one of 3 factions and answering such questions as, what if there was an Elder Scrolls game where you couldn't be a stealth archer? Or can Bill Nye voice act? Or can you make a combat system worse than Skyrim? The answer to all these questions is yes. ESO is an amazing experiment in being everything I could possibly want in an MMORPG on paper, and yet somehow the experience of actually playing it is the gaming equivalent of eating marshmallows. I know I'm definitely doing something, but it's not nutritious. nutritious, and if I keep going I'm going to feel sad in the morning. This is another buy once, play forever game, but you'll also want to pay for the monthly optional sub or your character forgets how to use their own pockets. There's also an in-game cash shop in case you wanted to throw even more money at it for some reason, and if you've already bought Skyrim 5 times, you may as well buy the Elder Scrolls Online, start the game in Vardenfell, remember how good Morrowind is, then go and download and replay that instead. Final Fantasy XIV. Remember the time the weird kid in high school told you to watch Naruto and you tried it and it was boring and they said, don't worry, it gets good 100 episodes in, you just need to keep going. This is the gaming equivalent of that. Final Fantasy XIV.
Honestly, this is so true, by the way. This is so true. I played Final Fantasy for the first, when I played it for the first time, I want to say the first 10 hours of playing that game sucked. Like, I just did not have a good time. And I made a promise to a friend to give it a solid, at least 30 hours of try before I judged the game, because, like, it's a MMORPG, you need to sink some time in, you have to get invested. The first 10 hours, I just felt like, what is this? What is this? Why am I playing this? What am I doing? It just honestly didn't feel that great, but I will say, the story is one of the best stories that I've seen. I don't like the UI, I do like the combat, I do like the gameplay to a certain extent. It might be too easy, but I mean, some of the savage raids are quite good now. But yeah, like, the beginning was ass. But if you just, like, stick to it, it becomes good.
Is the epic experiment about how many catgirls a game needs to make everyone forget that pacing is a literary structure and should be used when delivering a story. From the opening moments you begin your journey to become the hero of light and then later the hero of darkness, and achieving both I guess makes you the hero of soft ambience. The game was historically so bad on launch they blew it up and started all over again, and now it's quite good, with gameplay spanning from some of the most intense, sweaty and demanding fights you'll ever be in to some of the most intense, sweaty and demanding erotic roleplay you'll be forced to be in, because Limsa Lominsa is a godless place. Final Fantasy XIV is, in all honesty, a well-made game. It's just a shame that downloading it and buying it needs a degree in puzzle solving, and working out how the hell you actually give them your money is like solving a saw trap while wearing catgirl paws, then good luck if you want to use the MOG station. In fact, it may be the only...
Yo, that right there is also so true, by the way. Yo, how is he rage baiting but also capturing exactly how I felt when I played it the first time? It was so complicated. Like, thinking about it now that I know how it works, it's not really that complicated. But when it was complicated the first time, like, I had to struggle to give them money. Which, like, where are we at in, I guess this was 2020, 2021, like one of those two times. How is giving money to a company hard?
MMORPG game to solve the cash shop problem by just making the cash shop obtusely difficult to access. Also, there's a free trial where you can play through the entirety of A Realm Reborn and Heavensward, which you'll need to because it gets good later on. Old school RuneScape. Are you too sexy and also cool? Then you might fit in with the old school RuneScape crew. Old school...
Or a classic WoW content creator, because 90% of those guys started playing old school RuneScape. They are now back to WoW, of course, because you never quit WoW, you just take breaks. But yeah, if you're a classic WoW content creator, old school RuneScape, your type of game, apparently. You might have missed the hype though, but I mean, with all of those guys now going back to WoW, there might also be some holes to fill. Some space in the RuneScape content creation space.
RuneScape is a game which spent its entire budget on gameplay and quests, and then remember...
So TLDR, we are streaming RuneScape, let's go!
But a game needs graphics, so said screw it, 12 polygons will have to do, and my god, they were right. In case you wonder where all the muscular guys and hot e-girls, rock stars, porn stars and sports stars had gone, they're here in Gelenor, clicking on trees for thousands of hours, so one day they can click on a slightly different coloured tree. Watching somebody play old school RuneScape is the digital equivalent of watching somebody on heroin. They might not look like they're doing much, but in their own head they're having the best time. They will ask you if you want to join in, and it's essential for your health that you say no. Old school RuneScape came to dominate content creation with some of the most interesting playthrough series ever made, despite looking like this, which proves it really is what's inside that counts. And if you look inside RuneScape, you'll find endless amounts of passion, complexity, and most importantly, autism. RuneScape 3. Did you start playing RuneScape back when it launched and now you're too invested in your one character to switch over to the old school version because you've got rare items which won't transfer over and you don't want to get a completionist cape again? Then just keep playing RuneScape 3. The more modern version of the game which nobody thinks of when you say RuneScape, RuneScape 3 is actually quite a good game if you ignore the cash shop, which incredibly Jagex decided to do when they vastly reduced the amount of microtransactions and cash shop buyables. So you know what? Play it for that alone to show that we as a community support that kind of business decision. Also, dungeoneering is a skill, not a minigame. Fight me. EverQuest. Do your knees hurt? Do you make a sound when bending over to pick things up?
You know what game I would love to see as a MMORPG eventually? Dungeon Defenders. Dungeon Defenders. Give me an MMORPG version of that, and I will never play another video game ever again. Damn, dude. Dungeon Defenders, I love that game. Or I guess not just that game, that whole like franchise. You know what I mean.
Does sleeping funny put you out of commission for a week? Trick question! You're watching a video about MMOs, so I know the answer to all of them is yes. But did you know that unlike you, EverQuest is still healthy and still going strong? Do you miss reading and forums or when games didn't hold your hand? Do you want to try and convince your friends it's a good game to play, despite the fact they have functioning eyes and have owned a console since the Commodore 64? Well, come on over to Norath. We have such thrilling gameplay designers sitting and waiting for your mana to recharge while your friends desperately try and convince you to play something newer than teletext. EverQuest truly is the most popular MMORPG according to Ask Jeeves. Warframe.
That right there, EverQuest is a popular MMORPG that I've never played, and that I kind of want to try out at some point. The only thing is I can't try out all MMORPGs, especially like not to the level that I want to try them out. There's just no way. MMORPGs are such a investment of your time that I can't play them all, but I've started getting into Guild Wars, like just a list of ones that I've played. I have thousands and thousands of hours in World of Warcraft. I have at least 3,000 hours in Arcade. I have a few hundred, I don't know exactly how many, I could just open Steam and check, but I have a few hundred hours in Final Fantasy, and now we have about 20 hours in Guild Wars. And I mean, Ashes of Creation, if anybody counts that as well, even though it's in alpha, I probably have about 50 hours in that as well, in total, ever since Alpha 1 until now, so a couple of hours there as well. I think that's maybe about it. RuneScape, I have 30 minutes in. Let's go!
Remember Unreal Tournament? Imagine what that game would be if it was actually ninjas in space and also free and just goddamn awesome in every way. That's Warframe. Warframe tells the epic tale of how actually the plot gets good after the second Dream Quest, but you won't care because shooting things with a magical sci-fi bow is fun. And the shock reveal that you're actually...
Oh yeah, New World. That's a good shout. I have like 100 hours in New World as well, I think. New World for me was a game that I played for about 1 month and then let it go. And for the first week I played a lot, but after the first week I kinda played a lot more casually. But yeah, like that's a good shout. I probably have about 100 or 200 hours in New World as well. I could once again just double check, but you know.
A child soldier piloting this thing doesn't really matter because you are still going to shoot as many things with as many magical sci-fi arrows as you can. Warframe never really got the attention it deserves because the developers spent all their time and energy focusing on making a good game and forgot to add a little thing called a marketing budget. So finding Warframe is like watching Kung Fu Hustle for the first time and wondering how the hell more people don't know about this because it was everything you...
Oh yeah, dude, one franchise that should be a huge MMORPG right now, and I honestly don't understand why it's not yet, Pokemon. If they made a good Pokemon MMORPG with insane graphics, I mean, they have some of the biggest budgets in the world, and the amount of money they could print, they could have an insane box price of $100, and then also have a monthly sub of $20, and people would pay. And then they could sell you premium stuff, like they could have a battle pass in there, they can have an in-game cosmetic, like they could sell so much stuff. They could even sell costumes for your Pokemon. And people would buy it. They would print money, and I don't know why they haven't yet. Just imagine a huge Pokemon MMORPG. I think that would take over the entire genre.
Ever wanted. Warframe is only free because they're too busy making the game they've forgotten they could charge for it, so let's all just agree to not remind them. Eve, are you just inherently better than other people? Does your intimate knowledge of the difference between fedoras and trilbies scare people away? Was it really not just a phase, Mum? This is who you are. Then you may like Eve. A game of competitive spreadsheets dipped in a sticky sci-fi sauce, you can spend hours wedged into your crusty battle station chair listening to the Rasmus and learning every Excel function just to ruin someone's day a little bit more efficiently. Eve is the epic space conquest game.
Oh yeah, dude, I don't know how I thought about this now, but another MMORPG that I've sunk a little bit of time into was one called Rapples from way back in the day. I don't even know if Rapples is still up, but if it is, I kind of should play that at some point again. I probably want to say that I have about 1,000 hours in that game as well. There was a solid 1 year where I didn't play WoW at all, and I played Rapples instead. I was looking for like a free-to-play version of WoW, and that was the closest that I could find at the moment. And I had one friend who played it. He told me to give it a try. I gave it a try. It was really cool.
Where you can do everything from mine asteroids to grief other people who are trying to mine asteroids. You can be a stealthy smuggler or a diplomatic dickhead as you attempt to explain to someone for the 5th time why Babylon 5 is better than the next generation, and they continue to ignore you, wondering how long until you write a manifesto or leave your cave to go and play your monthly competitive Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. There are so many other amazing online worlds like Star Wars The Old Republic, which wants you to remember when Star Wars was good, or Lord of the Rings Online, which wants you to remember that it exists. You've got action games like Neverwinter, or extreme classics like Meridian 59, or failures like New World. And all of them offer a unique magical experience, and yet also all of them are somehow exactly the same, except New World because it's dead. So go out, download an MMORPG, play it, and see if it fills the void in your life, because it just might. Then let it immerse you, become your personality, become soul-bound to it, and then critique anyone else for daring to...
Yeah, another game like MMORPG that is also dead right now, especially in the West, is Arcade, and I loved Arcade so much. It's basically the game that Ashes of Creation is heavily inspired by, and if I could play Arcade right now on an official Arcade server, chances are I would probably play that for a month or something. I would play, I'm gonna say it right now, any Arcade Fresh Start server, I would and still will play. I'm just that hooked on Arcade, man. I loved Arcade. Really good game.
play a different game because they are wrong and you are right. Your virtual world is better than their virtual world, and until they've played 1,000 hours of your game, they wouldn't understand its nuanced brilliance, which is absolutely a judgment you can make even though you've only played an hour of their game. So let me know which virtual world you are a citizen of in the comments and why your world is clearly the best, and I look forward to not reading any of them. Thank you to the supporters on Patreon and Twitch who allow me to make videos like this. You can support from only £1 a month. Check the video description for links to Patreon, Twitch, Twitter, Discord, Instagram, and how to buy gamer subs. And as always, have a great day.
Okay, there we go, guys. That was a good video. A great pace. Holy. The amount of rage bait, but also like valuable information. Didn't Arcade's service shut down? Yeah, that's why it's dead in the West right now. NA and EU can't play. Per my knowledge, it's still available in the East. So yeah, can't really play Arcade, and I loved Arcade, so any fresh start or a resurrection of Arcade, I would play. Arcade 2 is in development. It's called Arcade Chronicles, but it's looking to be an ARPG with multiplayer elements. We'll see how it turns out to be. I'm gonna give it a try, 100%, but I'm entering that game with lower expectations, but I'm hopeful.